Zaira and her partner, Juan Carlos, decided to ride out the storm at their home in Aguadilla. They gathered emergency provisions, thinking they were at low risk because they weren't close to the ocean or any rivers. But by 3 p.m., all Zaira could see around their home was water. We drop into Zaira's story at the point when she and Juan Carlos had been lying on an air mattress for several hours in the dark, the water level having reached the top of their doors. My lungs against the hurricane. It was so dark inside our house, I had no idea what was around me. I think the scariest sensation was feeling the tiles lift. Because there was so much water, the tiles were coming loose and popping from the floor. So as I'm stepping to the back door to try to signal my neighbors, I fear that my foot is just going to go through a hole in the cement, and I'm going to get a cut with that black water all around. I lit my lantern, nothing. I blew the whistle, nothing. It was just my lungs against the hurricane. And it became clear right there that no one was going to hear us. That was the moment we realized we were completely alone. No one anywhere was going to hear us. And there was no cell phone reception. We would turn our cell phones on every hour and try and see if we got a bar to send a message, to dial 911, to get anything. When I looked out that window with my flashlight for the last time, the only thing I could see was water on either side as far as the horizon. We would look every hour at the phone, check for a signal, turn it off. Wait one more hour, check, turn it off. That was it. I remember thinking at like 11 p.m., being all the way up there on the water, seeing my house at this angle, from the top, the ceiling, and saying in my own head, not out loud, saying, it's gonna be tomorrow soon, and everything's gonna be better. And then midnight came, and I said, it's already tomorrow. It's gonna be over soon. But all we could hear was the bloop, bloop, bloop of the water. There was no air, there was nothing. Finally, Juan Carlos said, what's that? There's a light outside. And we realized it wasn't a flashlight outside, it was the reflection of a flashlight from far away, bounding across the water. And he had seen it catch the tinted glass of the tiny windows over the front door, yellow, red, and blue. I had my flashlight, and I got it really close to the glass. I remember flashing with the same intervals that the other person was flashing, so they could see that it was a human being, not some weird flickering light. We realized somewhere there was someone else, but we couldn't see them. We thought about trying to go through the front door, but outside was between 14 and 16 feet deep with water, and we were worried that we would get tangled in fences or downed power lines or clotheslines. We were afraid we'd lose track of each other. We knew the lanterns would just turn off in the water and we wouldn't be able to hear each other over the wind and rain. And at that point, we were about 14 inches from the ceiling. We couldn't sit up, and the water was so high that if we got off the mattress, there was no way to get back on. You couldn't. There was nothing to stand on, so you could only hang onto it. And hanging by our arms for hours was not an option. We would have drowned in black water. So if we tried to leave and it didn't work, we were done. We were so tired. We were on our backs for so long, twisting and turning, and everything hurt at that point. We tried not to move too much because we didn't want any sudden movements that might capsize us. We were worried about the risk of the mattress touching the metal curtain rings. Is it going to pop? Or is one of the things that's floating around us going to puncture it? We stayed that way for almost 6 more hours. No one saw us. No one came. When the sun came up and it was finally quiet, maybe 6 a.m., I broke one of those tiny tinted windows over the door and looked outside, and everything outside was water. That's it. It's water and water and water. To be able to look out the window, I had to press my head really hard against the mattress and push it down a little bit so that I could look sideways. We were that close to the ceiling, and I'm holding on with my fingers to the curtain rod so the mattress wouldn't keep moving back with the water. And that's when I started blowing on the whistle again. And I remember looking out at that strange angle and finally seeing tiny people all the way across that water and thinking, they're going to hear us. And I whistle and I whistle and I whistle. I can even see 2 girls turn and point to where we are, but nothing happens. Nothing happens.